What's going on, guys? 821 Mayo here, and today we're going to be having ourselves another 99% winning strategy guide, and this time it is going to be on Coastline, and the bomb site is going to be Blue Bar Sunrise. I feel like this episode or this installment of this series is going to be the most important because I see a lot of misplays and misconceptions on this map in terms of utility or even positioning or how to set up the bomb site to make it be able to be played to an extent. So with all of that being said, let's jump into the video. Okay, so jumping into Blue Bar Sunrise defense, I first want to go over the Blue Bar wall here. You need to open this most of the time unless you're running something very specific. For the person who's going to be playing lobby here, as you can see, you can hold the window jump in from here, and you can also hold the blue door cross from there as well. So it's important that if you have a shotgun player, which I'll get into later, as you can see I'm already playing smoke, but it's important that they do this at some point during the prep phase or round, just so the lobby guy can still contest Blue Bar, because there's really not that many great ways to contest Blue Bar without opening this wall. Like, you can either, challenge through the rotate there, or maybe these head holes there. So, having someone play that area is very important. It kind of goes back to what I was saying in a future episode, or maybe I said it once or twice, but, cutting the map in half. It's important that, as an attacker, you cut the map in half, but you can also do the same thing as a defender, not allowing the attackers to get the map control that they want when they want it. So having someone play here and opening the bottom of the blue wall is vital for this bomb site. Now, the next thing I want to go over is the Blue Bar wall. So why is this not reinforced? Well, simply we don't have enough reinforcements. We have one more left, which I will get into later, but reinforcing this wall, to me, really isn't that beneficial. You force the attackers to burn a little bit of time and utility, but they're going to get this wall open nonetheless. Now, if the attackers aren't running a hard breaching operator like a Habana or like any hard breacher, right, then you can reinforce this wall, but you're going to have to sacrifice some sort of reinforcement somewhere else, right, because you only have 10. So if you want to hard counter the attackers by reinforcing this wall, then go for it. Like, let's say, it's match point 4-4, you're on defense, and you've already ran Blue Bar defense once. Well, if they didn't bring a hard breacher for that round or the remaining of their attacking rounds, then you can reinforce this wall and see how it goes. But I would much rather prefer to have those reinforcements that would be put on that wall in other areas. Alright, now I want to talk about the Sunrise to Blue Bar wall. So obviously there's a rotate here. The reason for this is to, give you access to Sunrise and Blue Bar from one rotate. Now, the reason I'm not putting it on that side is because if someone was playing the blue window, they could very easily, play on the window here and, hold the cross there. But here, they cannot see the rotate. So if you need to challenge someone who's trying to walk in through the office door, you're able to do that by peeking that rotate, and this guy here can't see you at all. And then this reinforcement is also here just so you can play this area with a little bit more safety instead of, being forced to only play here or close on the reinforcement like this. You have a little bit more mobility, and then these holes here are made for nitro cells or smoke canisters. So as you can see, if I smoke the wall there, obviously that was just kind of like a toss smoke, but as you can see, that'll smoke up the default plant. So that is why those holes are there for nitro cells or smoke canisters. Now I want to go over smoke spot, and this area here is either called Pengu or smoke spot. Just because, this is where the smoke player plays. And then this room right here is either called sauna or mud room. Now, the reason of the importance of this area right here is because in Sunrise, this is the only area besides the window, which I'll go over in a minute, that is playable, that cannot be affected by vertical play. So it's important to have someone in this area as long as you can, as long as they don't die or, they're stuck in their position. You will most likely get stuck in this position, but at some point the attackers are most likely going to rotate, so it's safe to assume that while the round progresses that you are going to be able to leave this area. But this is called Smoke Spot. Now you can see that I have a shield here, and then we're also going to have a Jager put down some ADSs later on in the video. But having a shield here just makes playing this position much easier since, you have windows pretty much, right? So you can challenge anyone on the mud window. You can also, make sure that if someone walks into mud that they can't just swing you in your position and pre-fire you. And also you can throw smoke canisters on the floor here. And this will sometimes cover the door walk-in or even go outside. Like, if someone's on the hookah stairs here, you can actually smoke them through the wall. And if they're standing in this corner here, you can also smoke them. So if someone is stuck here, if you have a teammate playing behind the sun bar holding an angle like this and there's someone stuck in this corner, you can throw down a smoke canister and it will smoke them off, and they will either be forced to tank the HP or they're gonna be forced to leave the area or take the gunfight on the person playing sun bar. Now, one thing about the smoke mechanic for it to be able to clip through walls is you have to throw it on the floor. So don't throw it on the wall like this. Don't throw it, you know, like that. Like, it has to be on the actual floor. So like that. That's a perfect example. Because it has a dome effect. So it'll dome whichever direction is the opposite of where it's laying on whatever, you know, surface it's laying on, right? So as you can see, the opposite of the floor would be the ceiling or above the ceiling, right? Or sorry, the floor. So if I detonate that, again, it'll smoke anyone in this area. So that's how you kind of make smoke canisters clip through the wall. You'll see it a lot of the time in Pro League for default plant locations. So it's very important that you guys understand that mechanic just for generic, you know, smoke play. Alright, and then I also want to talk about these two reinforcements here. So these are pretty much here just to cover kitchen long. So that way, you know, if this wall gets opened by an Ash or Zofia, you know, they can't play all the way back here, right? And, you know, challenge the guy behind the sun bar if they're trying to take blue bar. This position is very important for denying the blue bar plant, just because, you know, this is pretty much the only area where you can really contest it from. I also want to quickly mention that the hookah hatch is reinforced, just so the attackers aren't able to drop vertically into sunrise. Alright, and now I want to talk about our service side player, our kitchen player here. So, the reason for this is because we want to extend horizontally instead of vertically. So the reason for this, I mean, the reinforcement here is just to cover anyone trying to walk in from the service door, any attackers. So our kitchen player won't be able to wallbang, or get wallbanged rather, and he also has a, you know, a safe area to play, and also challenge the door if he needs to. And then one of the last few things that I want to go over in just like the default setup or the foundation of this strat is these holes right here, which is going to tie in later with the Malusi that's going to be playing office or security, depending on where the attackers push from. These are simply here for the service cross. So just to give the kitchen player a little bit of support, you know, you put someone here in security or maybe even lobby. He can hold the cross for anyone trying to cross into service. Very similar to what I was saying about this lobby player holding blue bar. The same logic applies to anyone trying to cross into service. By the way, this area right here where these two paintings are at, if you guys don't know what this area is called, this is called paintings. Pretty much this white wall right here is called paintings. So just a call out for anyone who is curious on that. Alright, and the last thing that I want to go over before I jump into utility placement or operators is the last reinforcement that I had in my pocket previously. So with that reinforcement, you have a few options. What you can do with that is you can either reinforce the service wall to kitchen, which is right here. So, you know, you can put 2 walls on that if you feel the need to. You can also put it on the left blue wall, so that way the attackers are forced to, you know, open the soft wall here. If they have a buck or a sledge, they open here. And then, you know, usually they're going to want to plant in this little corner right here, just because it covers a little bit more than just planting like in the rotate here, you know, stuff like that. So this wall right here covers anyone playing lobby, so it makes it much harder to shoot them. So if this wall was reinforced right here, then they would be forced to cross into blue bar and then walk up to the little like overhang black wall here in blue bar. So this will extend them out a little bit in order to reach their destination here of planting. So that the lobby player, the paintings player, might be able to kill this guy by trying to walk through the rotate that'll be made here and then walk up to the default plant location. And as you saw before I, you know, loaded into a new game, the bottom of this wall was soft and also open. Or sorry, this wall was soft and the bottom of it was open. And the reason for this is because if you ever have anyone playing couches in Sunrise, they can kind of play around this area and hold the mud window jump in from that. But you can also reinforce it. So, you know, if you feel the need to do that, go for it. But yeah, you have a lot of different options to, you know, kind of play around with. You can also use that 10th reinforcement for the aqua hatch. So, you know, if the attackers are taking above control working down, then, you know, you can force them to walk through doorways or, you know, go down vertically outside and then enter horizontally inside. So you can also do that, but I don't really agree with that, because if the attackers are attacking horizontally, then, you know, having the aqua hatch open or even soft will allow you to kind of retake a little bit faster and more efficient by opening it and then dropping on anyone who is playing inside of office. Alright, and so the next operator I want to go over is going to be Jager. So we're going to talk about his positioning and utility placement. So as you can see right off the bat, we have 2 ADSs here. This is going to be in support of the shield that's going to be playing in smoke spot. So the attackers are going to be forced to burn at least twice in order to, you know, be able to access the shield with some sort of explosive. Then the third ADS that I want to show you guys is going to be behind the sun bar. So let's say, for example, the attackers take mud control, you know, just to make sure that the attackers can't throw a nade over and kill this guy behind the bar, or, you know, use some sort of flashbangs and flash this guy out. You know, this ADS is going to support this player, which I'll get into later. Alright, and now I want to talk about Jager's barb placement. So he's going to have a set of barb on top of Cool Vibe stairs, so that way the attackers aren't able to, you know, just like walk down the stairs and, you know, hold this cross here. And then he's also going to have his second set of barb on the kitchen window jump-in. So this is going to be for any attacker who is trying to challenge the guy who's going to be playing in kitchen itself. You know, they're not able to, you know, just walk in and, you know, wide swing that guy without this person playing here, knowing that someone jumped in, right? And then I want to talk about Jager's positioning. So he's going to be playing jungle area, which, by the way, this right here, this little, like, the black tiled area of this, of the kitchen door is jungle. So he's going to be playing like Harry Potter here, or jungle, just to support the smoke that's playing in Sunrise. So if Jager needs to, he can very easily leave, come over here, and play this angle here. And also another reason why Jager's here is because if the attackers are taking horizontally, then you most likely want to take above control in some sense, just for a flank, or maybe even a, you know, a playmaking type thing where, you know, he can hold a cross on something, maybe get a pick. So Jager has the fastest access to the stairs, so that way he can hit the roam, you know, go wherever he needs to go upstairs and kind of work with that map control that he was given. But yeah, that's pretty much Jager. Very simple. Now, there's going to be a few different variations with this. So the next operator is either going to be Wamai or Melusi. Now, if Wamai is banned, then you're going to bring Melusi, and vice versa. If Melusi is banned, you're going to bring Wamai. But if Melusi is banned, then you're going to have Jager playing, or sorry, Wamai playing in kitchen, and then you're going to have Jager playing lobby, and then you're going to have Maestro rotated on a Sunrise, and he's going to be the person playing jungle in an area like this. So yeah, there's a few different variations there. So the next operator I'm going to go over is going to be Melusi. Wamai is going to be very simple. I'll touch on it briefly. So obviously he's going to be playing in kitchen. He's going to have his Wamai magnets to support him in this area, just so you know they can't nade him out or fire him out with Capita Firebolts. So it's very simple. He plays on the reinforcement that I was just showing a few moments ago, and he pretty much plays here, does what he needs to do. Alright, now the next operator I want to go over is going to be Melusi. So I just briefly touched on, if Melusi is banned, then bring Wamai. If Wamai is banned, then bring the Melusi. And also, I forgot to mention, you know, kind of play around with the ADSs if Wamai is banned, because, you know, the guy kitchen might need a little bit of support. But in this instance, we're just going to say Wamai is banned, so we're playing Melusi instead. So the first Melusi is going to be in Mudroom. Now the reason for this is two reasons, and they're very important reasons. Firstly, this piece of utility, this Melusi, is bulletproof, meaning that the attackers have to use some sort of explosive utility to get rid of it, which is very, very important on a map like Coastline, where it's very frag heavy, and not so much hard breach utility heavy, but it is still utility heavy in the sense of, you know, setting yourself up for kills and, you know, using that explosive utility in the right positions. So as you just saw, you know, a few moments previously, there was two ADSs here. So what this Melusi acts as is a third ADS in a sense, because the attackers are not going to be able to walk in from the door. And by the way, this Melusi covers the door and the window jump in. They're not going to be able to walk in and just melee it. And the reason for that is because the smoke playing here. If the attackers slip up in some way, and what I mean by that is if they don't have anyone playing on this window, or if there's no window pressure established yet, and the attackers are trying to walk into mud, then the smoke can very easily swing around the corner and just, you know, shotgun that guy. Like, this is like killing range potential with a shotgun. And if they don't kill him, you're definitely going to injure him. But the Melusi is there for not only burning utility in the sense of a extra ADS, but it's also here to give the smoke some information if someone is trying to walk into his mudroom, and, you know, he can kind of play around this area with a shotgun and, you know, swing out if he needs to kill that guy. Alright, and the next Melusi is going to be for the service door into kitchen. Now, if Wamai is banned, then the Jager will rotate here, and he will play this area right here. And then, you know, he will also have this Melusi in support of him, just in case anyone tries to walk in through his service or bathroom. And then he also has the barbed wire placed there, so that way, you know, all of his fronts are covered in a sense, right? So if the attackers want to try to push him, he will be notified by either the Banshee being destroyed by an explosive, or the attackers, you know, walking into it and triggering the Banshee itself. Alright, and the last Melusi I want to talk about is the one in blue bar. So this covers not only the default plant location, but it also covers somewhat of the door. I think it comes to like right around there is the range of the Melusi in the position that I put it in. You could honestly probably pick this up and put it somewhere around here, just so it covers the door a little bit better. Yeah, so see, that covers everything that you need to cover if you place it right there. But this disables the attackers from, you know, running into blue bar without, you know, the people playing Sunrise or Lobby being notified. And also, if they're trying to go for default plant, you will also be notified by the Banshee being activated. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much Melusi's Banshee placement for the most part. In these three positions, they're very important in the positions that they hold. You can maybe change around the one in service a little bit, but that's in support of the Jager that's going to be playing there. Now I want to talk about Melusi's positioning. Okay, so at the start of the round, in the first, you know, 10 to 30 seconds of the round, Melusi is going to be playing Office. Now the reason for this is because a lot of the times, if the attackers are going to take horizontal control instead of vertical, they're going to take Office control as one of the first things that they do want to take. So the reason that she's here is because she can shoot, you know, 1, 2, 3, 3 drones and then leave. And if they and if the attackers decide to give up on taking this, then guess what? You just held an area of importance, great importance during the round, and you also got 3 drones, which is very important on Coastline. Because Coastline, you know, droning and getting intel is very important. And I'm not to say to, you know, I'm not saying that getting intel isn't any more important on Coastline, but, you know, it has a greater effect because there's a lot of rat things or rat areas that you can play in this map. So she's going to be playing here. She's going to shoot a few drones. And if they leave the area, that's great. She can continue to play Office into Lobby. She can kind of bounce between these two locations. Or, you know, if they're pressuring a lot and the attackers really want to take this, she shoots the drones and then she just leaves. And, you know, she can play here as well. Maybe try to challenge a little bit or play an angle like this if anyone tries to pressure her a little bit just to catch someone off guard, or, you know, if a few more drones cross, she can also shoot those. But she's going to back up all the way into Lobby, or she could play still security door somewhere around this area and, you know, play paintings wall as well. The reason for this is because it does 2 things. Not only does it cover the service cross, just imagine the shotgun holes that I placed earlier there on the wall. She can hold this area for the Jager that's playing in kitchen, and she can also play blue bar if she needs to, or she can hold the blue bar cross if she needs to. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Melusi. Holding lobby control is very, very important on this bomb site, because playing an area like this doesn't allow the attackers to, you know, just straight up walk into service and also walk into blue bar. So holding paintings in lobby has a great deal of importance in how successful a round can be for blue bar and sunrise on this map. The final operator I want to go over is going to be Maestro. Now he's going to be our only intel operator for this strat, so his utility and especially his evil eyes have a great deal of importance to how successful you can hold this bomb site. So this first Maestro camp here, this is not only going to give info for sunrise and things like that, but it'll also give info for a little bit of the blue bar door. So if I ping right there, that is the door seal. So as you can see, I can see the ping right there. So right there where I'm shooting is office. And if I ping that, you can see all the way back there, that is office. So that's going to give just a little bit of info for the office door into blue bar. Just so the attackers aren't able to, you know, kind of run in. You can also place the Maestro cam somewhere in this area right here. Now, not only does this cover the default plant location, which a lot of the times if the attackers are going to take sunrise or mud control, they're probably going to plant in this location here or even plant underneath the Maestro cam itself. Which you're going to be able to see a little bit of them maybe if they do plant in the range of the Maestro cam, but you'll most definitely be able to hear them. So not only is this Maestro cam covering the blue bar rotate, it's also covering the blue bar window jump in, it's covering the office door, it's covering sunrise window, it's covering the default plant behind the bar, it's also covering the default plant behind the bomb there. So it's covering a lot of different areas just off of one cam. And then the next one that I want to go over is the one that looks into blue bar. So I made that hole just so I can walk through, but it'd be even like this all across it, so kind of forget about that middle piece being gone. But this Maestro cam covers the blue window as well. It also covers the entirety of the blue cross. And you can also give audio calls for anyone who's trying to walk up the kitchen hallway, which I'll go over in a second. You can also give audio calls in lobby. So let's say it's a 3v3 situation, and you and your team don't know if someone's in lobby. Well, you can very easily tell by a process of elimination. So if you spectate if you're dead and you spectate all 3 of your friends, your teammates, let's say you have one in sunrise, you have one jungle, and then you have one in office, right? Just throwing the positions out there. Well, if they're all three in those positions and you hear someone walking in lobby, then that means that there's an attacker in lobby. So it's a great way to figure out if you can retake lobby if the attackers are trying to take blue bar control for the plant. Just so, you know, you can kind of figure that information out just so a teammate doesn't walk into lobby and die, right? So this Maestro cam also has a lot of important things that it does during a round. And what I was getting at earlier about hearing if anyone walks up kitchen long is that, as you can see, there's a piece of barbed wire here. So, you know, that Maestro cam will definitely be able to hear the barbed wire that's placed in kitchen long here. So, not only does this barbed wire not allow the attackers to run straight down the hallway and, you know, take jungle control, but it also gives info if they're, you know, playing this area or if the barb's being destroyed by off of that Maestro cam. Alright, and the last piece of utility that Maestro has is this last piece of barbed wire. So what this barbed wire does is two things. It covers the blue window jump in, so if anyone tries to jump into blue window, they'll obviously be slowed and you can hear the audio cue. So, let's say, for example, an attacker just aimlessly jumps in, thoughtlessly rather, jumps into blue bar window. Well, not only is it going to slow them, but you're going to be notified. So the Maestro, maybe he's on cams, and he gets a teammate or a call from a teammate immediately that someone jumped in blue window. Well, he can stand up and pretty much fry this guy because he's going to be slowed down. And also, you'll have the audio cue of when the person jumps in. And also, this covers the sprint across into Sunrise rotate. So, some of the time, whenever an enemy team is attacking this bomb site, you might see an attacker try to sprint all the way through blue bar like a brainless ash, and, you know, get into Sunrise, because if you cross from blue bar into Sunrise, you're in complete safety, right? At least from the lobby player. So it doesn't allow the attackers just to sprint all the way through blue bar and, you know, hit this little window of opportunity and to get into Sunrise through the rotate. So that piece of barbed wire is also very important. Alright, and the last thing that I want to go over is the positioning of Maestro. So if Wamai is up and he's playing kitchen, and Jager's playing Harry Potter, which is bottom cool vibe stairs right there, then Maestro's going to be playing Sunrise bar. But if Jager's playing kitchen and Malusi's playing lobby or office side, then Maestro is going to take the position of Jager. And, you know, he might be a little bit lighter on the cameras just in case someone, you know, he needs to get off of him or he needs to keep his gun up. But, you know, Maestro will still have the barb up top from the Jager, just in case someone does try to walk down the stairs, so we'll get that audio cue of that enemy trying to make that rat play. Alright, and the last and final operator I want to talk about in this strat for Blue Bar Sunrise on Coastline is going to be Mute. And there's a few reasons why I'm bringing Mute. One, we need some sort of wall denial operator for the smoke spot wall, so that way they can't ace or Habana it open. Two, he also denies drones. That's very, very important. And three, he has a nitro cell as well as a shotgun. So I guess you can kind of tie that into three. But the nitro cell, if the smoke dies or the Malusi dies, those are our only two real reliable operators in terms of secondary utility or, you know, utility in general to deny the default plant locations or just deny a plant at all. So he has that as well as the shotgun, so he can maybe help out the Mute a little bit, the smoke a little bit with, you know, doing some soft destruction on the bomb site to make it playable to your needs. And also you have the Maestro as well with the secondary shotgun, the Bailiff. So you have three different, you know, operators with three different guns that are more than capable of doing any sort of soft destruction. But those are the primary reasons why I picked Mute for this strat. Now I want to go over his Mute placements because I handpicked these out. It took me a couple minutes. As you can see, we're already 7.5 minutes in, so I ran around for 2 minutes, picked the best locations, and kind of ran with it. But the first one is going to be for office. Now, the reason for this is because if the attackers know that Malusi is going to be playing lobby side, or she's going to be playing security, or whatever it is, the attackers are going to have to come up to this door and shoot it. And as you can see, you can't walk up to the door and shoot it because there's a bookshelf here. So they're either gonna have to use an EMP or, you know, walk into office, expose themselves, and then throw their drone in this hallway here in order to, you know, drone past the Mute Jammer into security. But that's just gonna slow down the attackers a little bit and getting information on the Malusi instead of being able to drive their drone straight through office and, you know, into security. This goes back to what I was saying about Malusi playing this position at the beginning of the round and shooting drones and then retreating, or if they leave the area and, you know, you shot the drones. That's great, but, you know, if they do want to take this area and they're pressuring Malusi a lot to the point where she has to leave, then it's just going to slow down the attackers a little bit with this Mute Jammer being placed in that corner. So that's the first Mute Jammer. The next one I want to go over is the one on the mud walls. So not only is this going to cover the door, any drones trying to come through the door, but it's also going to not allow the attackers to, you know, place an ace or Habana pellets on the wall to open the wall so that way the smoke is forced out of its position. And then the third one rather is going to be placed Harry Potter on this little box area, I guess you could say. Now the reason for this is because if the attackers do take vertically, then they're going to take Cool Vibes control. There's no doubt about it. They're going to take Cool Vibes control. This goes back to what I was saying about cutting the map in half. If the attackers get down Cool Vibes and they're cutting the map in half, they're cutting off your rotation ability. You're forced to either fight this guy and kill him, or you're forced to rotate all the way through Office, back into Blue Bar, and then going through the Sunrise rotate over there. So the attackers playing this position is a very strong position for them to play, I should say. So the reason that Mute Jammer is placed there is because if I go upstairs, you can see that in the bottom left of the screen, you can see the blue Mute Jammer symbol. So if I step anywhere in this area, anywhere from this corner of the little Cool Vibes wall all the way over here, all of this area is muted. So what the attackers are forced to do is jump a drone all the way up here. So if you need to retake Cool Vibes as an attacker, you're going to know that the flank drone on Cool Vibes is going to be up here somewhere. Or they could jump it over, and you can obviously see it if you try to walk up the stairs. But if the drone is not in that area or on the stairs, then it's going to be in somewhere a different area. Or they might not even have a Cool Vibes flank drone. But this Mute Jammer right here is probably one of the most important ones besides the one in Office, or security I should say. And the last one is going to be placed on the kitchen wall. Same thing for the mud wall. It's pretty much denying any hard breaching utility. And you can probably move this, to be honest with you. You can move it more towards the door, since there is only one reinforcement panel there. And you can also cover the door and the reinforced wall in one Mute Jammer. So I kind of messed up there a little bit. But all 4 Mute Jammers serve a great purpose in terms of utility during this round. A great purpose. And then where is Mute going to be playing? He's going to be playing Sunrise. He's going to kind of be playing this area, maybe hopping on cams when Maestro can't, or, just pretty much being ready for the attacker's push. And the reason he's playing here is because, again, of the Nitro Cell. So if the attackers try to take Blue Bar control, he can very easily throw his Nitro Cell, and bam. This guy here trying to plant is dead. And also, the barbed wire that I placed there previously from the Maestro, if nobody else is able to challenge this guy that jumped into blue window or is trying to run in, he can very easily one-pump this guy. Again, same thing with the Malusi and the smoke playing here. He can swing out and, smoke that guy pretty much. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Blue Bar Sunrise on Coastline really isn't that hard to play. You just need to have really good positioning. That's the number one thing, is not allowing the attackers to be too aggressive to the point where they take map control really fast, and also adapting and positioning yourself around the attackers in their push. It's really not that hard of a bomb site to kind of play around with and, win. It just depends on how much you have played it previously and what kind of knowledge and your thought process goes into the round. But yeah, that is going to wrap up today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to the channel. By doing those two things, you can have a great impact on how the video is pushed into the YouTube algorithm and how large of an audience sees the video. I put a lot of time into these 99 strat videos, so I would greatly appreciate the support. Any support, I just greatly appreciate. While you're down there, you can also find links to all of my social media, as well as my Patreon, Discord, and tip video playlist in the description. If you guys are interested in any of those links, they will all be down below. As well, you can find links to the Post-Plant podcast, which is Shock, Vexine, and I. Every single Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be going live on Shock's Twitch page, and there will also be a link to the YouTube channel where all of the VODs will be uploaded over there. So if you guys ever miss out on an episode, or you want to catch up on what we've been talking about, there will be a YouTube channel linked in the description below. Make sure you guys go subscribe over there. We are very close to 1K subs. So we would appreciate the support over there as well. And lastly, you can find a link to the link tree for my org. It is the Wichita Wolves. It is a great org. Make sure you guys go show them some support by, dropping them a follow on Twitter. They are a great organization. So if you support me, I would also appreciate if you guys went and supported them. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. And I will see you guys in the next video.